Hello, Ed here. Now then, my regular viewers may be familiar with my good friends Ed Wolf, yeah, the big, fat, jolly old wolf, and Torquil, the fox. But tonight I'm not going to talk about them at all. No. But instead, I'm going to talk about the following. COVID-19, or in this particular case, the second lockdown. Yes, here in England, the second lockdown is already in full swing. Having said that, the government has stated that it will end on the 2nd of December. And if any of you want it to end on that particular day, please, 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 please play by the rules. That's what I do. To clarify, please do the following over the next 4 weeks. 1. Leave the house once every 24 hours, or don't leave the house at all, as a rule of thumb. That's what I do. Well, that's what I'm doing for the time being. Number 2. Wherever you go, particularly in places like banks, building societies, supermarkets, convenience stores, etc., please don't forget to wear your face covering, which I will talk about that later. That's just one way of saving yourself and everyone else from infection. At the same time, please don't forget to keep a minimum of 6 feet away from other people. Again, if you do that, you would save yourself and other people from infection, thus slowing the spread of the virus down. Number 3. Don't forget to wash your hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. Now, now that we've got round to the topic of face coverings, one thing that has made my blood boil everywhere I went, just about, are people who could not be bothered to wear their face coverings properly, or worse still, not at all. If you are exempt from wearing a face covering, for example, if you have a breathing disorder, that's all right. But heaven help anyone, particularly the non-exempt, who deliberately makes the choice not to. If you go down that road, you would be infecting yourself. You could be infecting yourself, and or other people. Now, I am going to demonstrate the proper way of wearing a face covering, particularly in places like banks, supermarkets, etc. When you're out of doors, mind, nothing matters. Anyway, here we go. Right, okay. This is the proper way to wear a face covering. And this is the incorrect way to wear a face covering. Why? Because your nose is exposed. And don't forget, not only you breathe through your mouth, but through your nose too. And does it help to slow down? Does this help to slow down the spread? No, it doesn't. And now, I thought I'd go through it again as a way to engrave it on your mind. Here we go. This is the correct way to wear a face covering. That way, you will save yourself and other people from infection. And this is the wrong way to wear a face covering. And now, I'll go through this one more time as a way to engrave it on your mind. As I said 2 minutes ago. Here we go. This is the correct way to wear your face covering. But this is the incorrect way to wear your face covering. Why? Because your nose is exposed, thus leaving yourself open to infection. Likewise, you could save yourself. Likewise, you could infect other people. Could there be anything more inconsiderate? Right. Anyway, right, moving on. I also have a message to all the employers out there, especially if you happen to employ people who deal with the public. Please try to make sure that your employees enforce the rules regarding COVID-19. For example, if you run a convenience store and you have a sign saying 2 customers at a time only, please make sure your employees stick to that rule. By asking your employees to ask your customers to wait outside if need be. Only tonight, I found out that someone had not been playing by that particular rule at all. And as a law-abiding citizen, myself, I can't think of anything more annoying. On the other hand, I happen to be a volunteer at the Barnardo's charity shop. And having said that, since I happen to be the public face of Barnardo's, in other words, since it's my job to serve customers, I bend over backwards to stick to the rules. Not only that, but I also express assertiveness. For example, if there are already 6 customers in our shop, as our case may be, I would ask someone, firmly yet politely, to wait outside until at least one person leaves. And I think so far I have made a pretty good job of it. And it's the same for wearing face coverings, as I've just demonstrated. Well, for a start, I'm not afraid to wear face coverings while serving customers, thus setting them an example. And if I could progress, well, oh yes, I remember. What I've been trying to say also is not only I do those things myself. Not only I do these things myself, but also I am not afraid to speak up. In other words, I'm not afraid to inform my manager about things like that. And your employees should not be afraid to do so. Meanwhile, over and out.